Her followers warned her to leave. Her friends urged her to stay. Her intuition kept telling her to leave, but she ignored the feeling and listened to her friends instead. Valeria Marquez began as a radiant young creator following her dreams, creating beauty content while building a strong connection with her viewers along the way. But a live stream that should have shared a normal day in her life ended in horror. Vibrant and full of promise, Valeria was shot and killed in front of thousands during a live TikTok. She was only 23. What happened during Valeria's final hours? Why did she ignore her intuition telling her to leave? And why are so many suspicious of those closest to her? This is the heartbreaking story of Valeria's last livestream, and the bizarre aftermath that's left viewers questioning everything. Valeria was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco in 2002. By 16, she had already entered the spotlight as a model and went on to earn the title of Miss Rostro in 2021. With over 100,000 followers, her online presence was on the rise, and so were her dreams. Though she once studied dentistry, Valeria later pivoted to pursue her passion for beauty. But behind the glitz and glamour, Valeria was also a hard-working businesswoman, using her life savings and a loan from her father to open her own beauty lounge called Blossom, the Beauty Lounge, which she promoted regularly through live streams, offering advice and sharing part of her world. Her live streams were intimate, candid, and warm, bonding with her viewers as she revealed glimpses of her personal journey. She shared her dreams, her fears, and even her regrets.
Ya casarme, o sea, de que los domingos carnita asada con mi marido y con sus amigos y con mis amigas y así.
Just days before her death, she opened up about leaving her dentistry studies behind, a decision she said she regretted. Dreams for a future that was robbed from her. On May 13th, 2025, Valeria went live on TikTok like she had so many times before. Like usual, she was chatty, warm, playful, and effortlessly captivating. But this stream was different. She told viewers she hadn't slept well the night before.
Neta, me estoy quedando dormida, güey. Tengo mucho sueño. Hola, Vale hermosa, hola, amor. Algo costoso y en una bolsa negra. Que era una bolsa de regalo negra. ¿No dormiste bien? No. Me dormí a las 3 de la mañana. Güey, estaba pensando muchas cosas. Y me desperté a las 7.
Something was different about this life. Valeria shared that earlier that morning, her employee, Erica, mentioned a man had come to the salon asking for Valeria. He claimed to be delivering a very expensive gift and insisted he needed to take a photo with her to prove the handoff. When told Valeria hadn't arrived yet, the man said he'd return in an hour. He wore a helmet that completely hid his face. The salon's cameras didn't catch him.
Checa las cámaras. Al rato las checo. Pero que no se veía.
That unnerved Valeria. During the live stream, she admitted she was anxious, joking darkly that maybe somebody's there to kill her.
Güey, a lo mejor me iban a matar, güey.
No, a decir un regalo, pero no, estoy aquí. Mamá no era como y de repente
Costoso.
y aparte
En una hora regreso. ¿Y en qué venía? ¿En moto?
no sí,
Me iban a levantar. Ok. Güey, me quedé preocupada. Güey.
Her laugh didn't quite mask the dread in her eyes. She texted friends, trying to figure out if anyone had sent the gifts. Some responded, some didn't, but no one claimed it.
Güey, sí lo pensé, pero le pregunté y no me ha contestado. Pero no creo ni al caso, güey. Es que no puede ser. Güey, exactamente. No sé. No sé. Estoy confundido. Checa las cámaras. Al rato las checo.
Valeria indaga con ciertas personas vía mensajes si son estos tipos quienes le mandaron algo. Al recibir un mensaje donde seguramente le dicen que no mandaron nada, comienza su nerviosismo y su intuición le dice: vete de ahí. Esto sucede en el minuto 26:40.
Tú solo no sé. Es una estética femenina. Tenemos todo de chava. Niñas, yo creo que ya me voy a ir. Porque ya me hundí.
Meanwhile, the people that were watching her live stated that comments poured in from viewers telling her to leave. The description of the man and his request of a picture of proof seemed too suspicious. Something didn't feel right. Even she kept saying, I think I should go.
Femenina. Tenemos todo de chava. Niñas, yo creo que ya me voy a ir. Porque ya me hundí.
But when Valeria expressed feelings of unease and desire to leave, Erica, her employee, encouraged her to stay, excited to see what the very mysterious and expensive gift for Valeria could be. Erica had described the delivery man to Valeria as a man holding a black gift bag decorated with stars, further piquing Valeria's interest in who sent it or what it could be.
no era como transparente. Y
Un
de
regalo
repente
costoso.
Expressing her confusion as she stated she wasn't seeing anyone. At this point, she wasn't even going out partying. She was just being a good girl and staying home.
Ya bien rehabilitada, hermosa, ya cambié. Ya no salgo, ya no tomo. Ya me dejé de bandidos. Pura niña bien. Hola, guapa, hola, mi amor. Y vivían en su casa por 2 días que llevas, bebé. Pero ya dije, ya, basta de estupideces. Qué hermosa tu ceja y tus ojos. Y hoy no me la pinté, solamente me la peiné. Era difícil aprender a hacer ceja, no. Te decoras te decoloras, no. Me pongo, es un falso crecimiento. ¿Me puedes bloquear por fácil? Y mira, ando tan de buenas que no pienso aguantar a nadie. Yo te bloqueo. Bloquear. Listo. Ay, 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 ay. Qué bonito te ves, Ale. Muchas gracias. Y mañana tienes fiesta chula. Ay, ya sé. Pero tranquis. O sea, es de la tarde lo bueno. Hoy me levanté a las 7 de la mañana. No he dormido nada.
Further deepening her confusion, Valeria shared with her viewers that she usually didn't receive expensive gifts. She had fans, sure, and often received gifts, but nothing huge or expensive.
Oigan, ¿qué creen que me pasó? Hoy andaba haciendo unas cosillas y me marca Erika y me dice, oye bebé, es que te traen algo y que no sé qué, pero pues que te lo quieren entregar a ti. Y yo, pues más o menos llego como en 1 hora. Y ya dijeron de que, no, es que mejor me espero a que llegue ella porque es muy costoso. A mí que me va a andar regalando algo. Y ahorita ya en unos minutitos ya me voy. ¿Ya te lo dieron? Pues no han llegado. Y la verdad no los voy a esperar. ¿Y qué era? No lo vio. Me dice que venía en una bolsa negra, Erika. En una bolsa negra. Pero es que ¿quién? O sea, o sea, si trajera como acá, pues te diría, bueno, pues fulanito, pero no.
And then her phone rang. The viewers didn't know who was on the other end, but her face changed. Her gaze darted across the room as if trying to make sense of what she was hearing. The phone call ended. Valeria told viewers it was Coppel, a popular credit and layaway company in Mexico, asking for a Karina to pay her bill.
¿Y tú? Bueno. No. ¿Por qué tanto sueño, guapo? Me estoy muriendo. Me levanté súper temprano. Me vale verga, no voy a pagar. No, me hablaron de una Karina, no sé qué, de que debe en Coppel. Karina, si diste mi número y ve y págales a Coppel, güey.
Suspiciously, someone asked her to pay Coppel in the chat days prior.
Coppel, que no te voy a pagar, ahorita no tengo dinero. ¿Te quieren tararear, Val? ¿Qué es eso?
Donde te topemos, tarará.
Paga. No quiero pagar ahorita. Viviana, ya puedes hacer envíos, güey.
Sí, es cierto. No,
Sí,
para
mañana
que me
les
lo van a
hago
volver a reportar y me va a dar más coraje.
Could the person that wrote that be the culprit behind her death? Was the use of the word Coppel a warning or just someone messing around in the chat? Too many questions and not enough answers. Another live shows a call with someone asking for a Gari, a similar name. A live where viewers pointed out she seemed scared and jumpy.
Cari.
¿Buscan a Cari?
Me dice, bueno, Cari. Y yo.
Que viene perra.
Yo, Cari, no soy hermosa. Hice una sesión con fajas. Van a quedar bien verga las fotos.
¿El leve?
Una, ¿verdad?
¿Mande?
De la que compartiste una.
Es de leve, ¿no?
Sí. Y ese cámara.
Se ve mucho chico.
Son dos muchachos, ¿no? Ay, no.
Venimos a conocer a Valeria.
Valeria often received gifts from fans, mostly roses, all sent to Blossom the Beauty Lounge. So it wasn't odd or suspicious to receive another delivery, but the request of a picture for proof of handoff for a very expensive gift did raise flags for Valeria, as she wasn't used to receiving expensive gifts. Once, someone gifted her a Rolex, which she was very excited about, but, according to Vivian, after getting the Rolex appraised, it was revealed to be a fake.
Que le mandaran arreglos, eso sí, le mandaban muchas flores siempre.
Ok, yo investigué y por ahí me dijeron que incluso hasta Rolex falsos.
Sí, no, sí es verdad.
No vamos a decir quién, solamente le mandaron un Rolex falso. ¿Y qué pasó?
Así es.
Esta persona le engañó y le dijo, ahí te va un Rolex, y ¿cómo se enteró que era falso?
Pues creo que lo fue a valorar, a ver si era pues verdadero, y
Ok.
le dijeron que no, que era falso. De la mayoría de cosas eran palabras más que nada. O sea, le decían te voy a dar, te ofrezco esto, aquello, pero no, nunca fue que le hayan dado un regalo real. O sea, que realmente que estuviera ya sea un carro a su nombre, una casa, algo por el estilo. O
O
sea,
sea,
siempre eran regalos mínimos.
Vivian, a familiar face in Valeria's streams, Valeria's longtime friend. The two had recently reconciled after a very bitter fallout, described for mutual friends as peleadas hasta la muerte, translated to fighting to death. Rumored to be caused by a possible love triangle. One of Vivian dating Valeria's ex behind her back.
La que era su mejor amiga antes, pensó que pues le estaba tirando el rollo Valeria al muchacho que le gustaba. Entonces hubo toda una bronca de que se empezaron a pues a decir sus verdades. Yo estaba presente, entonces pues estuve presente en ese pleito que tuvieron. Y como yo en ese entonces estaba regresando con mi expareja, no pude como tomar partido con Valeria por lo mismo de que como ella estaba saliendo.
Oddly enough, during the live stream, Valeria made sure to tell viewers that she didn't trust Vivian at all. With her playful usual self, she made no effort to hide that she loved her friend, but wouldn't trust her in anything she said, even going as far as saying, "If Vivian said good morning, my love, I'd go see if the sun is out."
Andas endulzando el oído y eres más perra labiosa que un vato, güey. Neta, a ti no te creo ni los buenos días. Es más, si me dices buenos días, mi amor, salgo a ver si está el puto sol, güey.
Still, when Valeria expressed an intense sense of unease and desire to go home and rest, after waiting more than 5 hours for the mysterious delivery man, mentioning she had hardly slept the previous night, Vivian typed in the chat convincing Valeria to stay a little longer.
Ya me voy, niñas.
Y luego vuelve a repetirlo en el minuto 34:30.
Pero ya me voy. Ya me voy.
Fue en ese momento donde Vivian, después de haberse visto expuesta, empieza a insistirle que se quede. En el minuto 36:16 comienza a recibir mensajes insistentes de Vivian reteniendo a Valeria para que reciba el café.
A que me espere, dice la Vivian, que porque quiere ver mi cara.
En
Vivian said she had ordered gifts for Valeria that were on their way. In the end, Valeria stayed. That choice would become the most tragic decision of her life. The live stream continued, and shortly after, the gifts began to arrive. The first delivery handler arrived. Valeria got up from her chair to meet him. It was a Starbucks drink, and just 10 seconds later, the second delivery man arrived. Something that has raised eyebrows on social media. These gifts were purchased from stores about 20 minutes apart, something Mafian pointed out.
El Starbucks se encuentra a escasos 600 metros del local de Valeria, en la Plaza Santa María, menos de 3 minutos caminando. Y el Miniso más cercano de donde viene ese peluche es en Plaza Gran Patio Patria, que está a casi 25 minutos manejando en automóvil. Lo interesante es la exactitud de ambos repartidores para llegar en ese mismo momento. Las aplicaciones deben de tener el registro de estos pedidos.
He handed Valeria a small, stuffed pig. She beamed. It was soft and pink, a flicker of joy breaking through the tension. She hugged it tightly, laughing as she pressed it to her chest. On the surface, things seemed normal again.
¡Mi vida! Mira, ¿quieres ser mi novia? Aquí delante del público. Yo nunca me le he declarado a nadie, pero creo que tú eres el amor de mi vida. Fan de su relación.
But then she paused, sniffed the stuffed animal. It smells really bad, she said, wrinkling her nose. Like ass. She laughed. Still, she kept the plush pig close, cradled in her lap like a shield.
Ya cuando ella me dijo de que empezó a reaccionar con el cochinito y que me empezó a decir que me amaba y así, que olía a culo el peluche,
Justo.
y ya me dijo que pero te la paso. Ya le dije que pues no sé por qué huele feo si literalmente viene de la tienda, pero échale perfume. Le dije échale perfume porque tú...
Valeria hadn't noticed, but someone in the chat asked if she wanted red or pink roses for her funeral. As she read the chat, they typed again, this time only asking red roses or pink, to which she answered red. Moments later, the final delivery arrived.
Güey, ya me quedé intrigada de quién vergas me mandó eso. No.
No me dijo ni no.
Rosas rojas o rosas rojas.
Then, the third and final delivery. She didn't get up to greet the man this time. She didn't rise from her chair. She didn't even keep the stream running. Valeria muted the live. Some people believe it was to protect the sender's identity, a gesture of grace, protecting the name of the sender and his or her privacy, but many assuming it's a him.
No sé, güey, me tiene intrigada ese pedo. ¿No estabas tú? No, yo andaba con el doc. Si dicen que era algo costoso, con más razón no le iban a dejar. Quizá te estaba cotorreando. ¿Tú crees? ¿O lo viste muy serio? ¿Serio?
Pensó que era yo.
Ujú.
Y él me dijo, como que se quedó así como de. Y le dije, ¿justo te acuerdas? Y dijo, ah, no, regresó una hora.
Ya viene.
No, sí.
Hola.
¿Valeria?
Sí.
She gripped the stuffed animal tighter, her eyes flickered left, then right, as if tracking a quiet conversation happening off-screen. Wary and withdrawn, someone was speaking to her, but we only see her listening. Then something caught her eye. A second later, her expression changed, subtle but unmistakable. A recognition or realization. Her face winced. She looked down. She panicked. She'd felt something, desperately searching her own body, looking for whatever it was that caused her pain. The live stream kept rolling. Viewers didn't realize it yet, but in that moment, Valeria had been shot. The viewers, unable to hear anything, were left with perturbing silence. The screen was full of horror. The stuffed pig on her lap, its ear clipped, her shirt now showing a small, blooming hole over her chest. She looked down at it, confused. Then another shot. Maybe more. Her head jolted once, then again. Still silent, still holding the stuffed pig. Her body slumped slowly into a seated position. Then the stream ended. Her employee, Erica, had cut the feed. Days later, a bouquet of red roses appeared outside of Blossom Beauty Lounge, with the note saying sorry. In the aftermath of Valeria's live stream, the internet erupted with questions. Who saved and uploaded the footage of her death to social media? Who orchestrated the hit? Who made sure every piece was in place? Was the entire plan to keep her distracted, anchored, just long enough to end her life on live stream? What did they gain by cutting her life short? Was her spark too fierce? Her future too bright? Did they have to dim her light just to feel a little bigger? Was the promise of a black gift bag something more sinister? Why did Erica look so calm as she ended the live stream? Who has Valeria's phone now? Were there two shooters? Slowed down videos track a visible bullet that seems to be traveling from the back. But was it a ricochet, or was it more than one person that wanted to hurt Valeria? And why weren't the security cameras working? Rumors flooded social media. Some claimed Valeria had been romantically involved with a married man in the cartel, an affair that led to her death. Others spun darker tales that her cosmetic surgeries were financed by cartel money. But we must acknowledge that she had been working and modeling from an early age.
Yo tenía ahorrado, no sé, ¿qué les digo? Una cierta cantidad de dinero y yo fui como sacando cuentas de todo lo que necesitaba, de todos los productos, porque pues yo no tenía nada. O sea, yo empecé a comprar todo, o sea, a comprar todos los productos de pestañas, a comprar todos los muebles para las pestañas, empecé a comprar todos los productos de las uñas, todos los muebles de las uñas, varias cosas que hacían falta, que la recepción, la sala de espera, o sea, todo, pues lo tuve que comprar. Entonces empecé a sacar cuentas y yo veía mi dinero que yo tenía ahorrado y yo decía, güey, ni de me va a alcanzar esta o sea, no. Entonces yo fui a hablar con mi papá y pues le dije lo que quería hacer, pues así, y ya me dijo, o sea, yo le pedí dinero prestado, mucho dinero prestado.
Still, others circulated screenshots, supposedly of text messages between Vivian and Erika, plotting to distract Valeria long enough for a hit to go through. In one alleged message, Erica reportedly admitted she was scared the hitman might hurt her too. None of this has been proven, but online, evidence takes a backseat to storytelling. And the oddities didn't stop. Just days later, Erica posted a TikTok. Not a tearful denial or a somber message, a dance video. Her caption claimed innocence. but her detached demeanor raised eyebrows. Was she in shock or simply untouched? Clips of Vivian and Valeria resurfaced, highlighting moments of tension, often starting live streams on Valeria's phone without her knowledge.
Cuídame. No. ¿Me vas a dejar ser? Perra.
Constantly using and taking her underwear.
¿Vas a robar calzones otra vez? ¿Y por qué no traes los tuyos, Vivian? ¿Dónde te los compro? No, no necesito que me los compres, pendeja. Ya me vas a dejar sin. Ahí están. Me caes bien gorda, güey. No, vete a la verga. No, acá. Vámonos al cine. Mira, aquí tienes unos tuyos. Pero, bueno, si no se me ven. Mira, si no tengo otra tanga negra. Ando bien moquienta.
Tiraron varias balas, pero ninguna pega.
¡Ay, picha la Vivian! Yo no traigo dinero.
Nearly catching her nude once.
Bien fea que tiene ella. No saliste de
Sí salí.
Ay, qué fea.
Going live while Valeria was drunk, and Vivian being the only sober one.
Ah, todavía puedes caminar. Ahí viene la machuquis.
Ejochis.
Agüita de chava estamos tomando.
¿Es mi teléfono?
Soy hermosa. Yo hice un live de tu teléfono.
¿Y qué mando mensajes?
Una tortita. Ah, qué rico. Que eres de Valeria, su novia, esposa, mejor amiga, íntima.
Es
y
mi
demás.
marida.
Ya
¿Por
no.
qué no estás peda tú?
Pendeja, acabo de llegar.
Vive. Tenemos que hablar muy seriamente. Déjame siento aquí contigo. Escúchame. Yo ya ando bien peda.
Estoy gritando, no estás susurrando.
Yo ya ando bien peda. Tú me vas a cuidar.
Si no me pongo peda, sí.
No, vete a la verga. Tú no te puedes poner peda.
¿Por qué no?
Porque yo estoy peda, güey.
Sí.
Y tú me tienes que cuidar a mí.
Pero siempre hay una que está más peda que la
No,
otra.
por eso yo ya estoy peda. Yo ya estoy
¿Eso?
peda.
¿Eso?
Yo ya estoy peda, entonces tú me vas a cuidar a mí.
Está bien.
Y chico. No, vamos a la cantada, a ver.
Cállate.
Vámonos como ahí temprano.
Vámonos pues a la verga.
Another video shared online highlights gestures Vivian made during a live stream with Valeria, sparking rumors online that these gestures were a warning of a hit on Valeria. Viewers began to ask, was it jealousy, resentment, or something more sinister?
A ver, pásame aquí a la gente.
No, espérate.
No estás hablando con la gente, güey. Son tus seguidores,
no,
háblales.
verga, pues son los
Háblales.
míos.
Háblales.
¿Dónde, amigo?
¿Quieren un tour por la casa de Vale o qué?
Porque me quieren quitar.
Arriba no les puedo mostrar porque me va a descubrir. Va a descubrir que enseñé su casa. Tan. Y qué fea.
Tragedy didn't stop the internet from cashing in. Within days, fake TikTok accounts popped up under Valeria's name. Some uploaded AI generated apology videos claiming Valeria had faked her death.
Amigos, quiero pedirles perdón a todos. Estoy viva. Tuve que fingir mi muerte
porque mi vida estaba corriendo peligro, pero me encuentro sana y salva en estos momentos, estoy en un lugar seguro.
Others streamed old footage, misleading viewers for clout and cash. On Instagram, random businesses and other random pages began tagging Valeria in their content to steal engagement. Some talked about Valeria's surgeries, stating that cartel money bought them and therefore the cartel had the right to take it away. Though it is speculation, after all, she was successful in modeling, working, and making appearances in music videos. Independent journalist Mafian stepped in, hoping to cut through chaos, but the interviews only deepened the mystery. One man claimed to be Valeria's boyfriend. He wasn't. Another anonymous tipster said she was there when Valeria was shot and claimed that Erika pulled the trigger herself. She described the delivery driver panicking, fleeing as Erika allegedly yelled after him, demanding the gift he was there to deliver that he took with him as he ran away, which the Mexican police denied as truth, with claims not aligning with the evidence. And then Vivian's interview, a 3-hour live stream where Vivian offered soft answers to gentle questions, as Mafian couldn't ask hard questions due to the ongoing investigation. She said she didn't know why the stuffed pig smelled bad, claimed that the hitman wasn't caught on camera because the cameras were only there for show. They didn't actually work.
Dice, ¿las cámaras funcionaban de su local?
No, no funcionaban.
O sea,
No tenían cámaras.
es cierto lo que investigué, que las cámaras estaban ahí como solamente por persuadir a los ladrones. O sea, las cámaras no funcionaban.
Sí, o sea, ella lógicamente en un en vivo nos iba a exponer a decir que sus cámaras no funcionaban.
Ok. Esto quiere...
Her explanation for the perfectly timed deliveries? She'd ordered them minutes apart. Starbucks was closer, after all. She'd wanted to send her flowers too, but decided against it when Valeria mentioned she might leave soon. Vivian spoke softly of guilt, of grief, of wishing she'd be there to protect her best friend. And yet, the inconsistencies linger, and so do the accusations. In the beginning of the interview, Vivian mentions she had an abusive, controlling ex, one she said she had no intention of going back with, yet said Valeria's ex wasn't abusive or controlling, saying that Valeria made her videos when she was upset, excusing the abuse and controlling behavior.
Te me regresas a la verga, te quiero aquí a las 8:30. Eran las 8:10, güey. Y yo, no voy a llegar en 20 minutos. Pues a ver cómo chingados le haces, porque te quiero aquí 8:30. Y yo, Vivian. Güey, estábamos a punto de comer.
Ya nos habían hablado.
Ajá, y Vivian me dijo, no, güey, pues vámonos. Yo le dije, terminando de comer, le dije, no he comido. Eran las 7, güey. Eran las 7 de la noche y yo no había comido. Y le dije, no he comido, terminando de comer, voy. No, ya te quiero en la casa, vente, pero ya. Y yo, que güey, estoy en la plaza, fui a comprar maquillaje, estoy con Vivian nada más. A ver, mándame video. ¿Le mando video? No, regrésate a la casa.
Y todos nos preguntamos de él, ¿no? ¿Se puede
No,
platicar de eso?
no tuvo problemas, o sea, simplemente fue que fue uno que le afectó sentimentalmente, o sea, que sí le
Ok.
dolió.
Estas publicaciones de que según que ella publicó de que la había sacado de el Stance o de diversos lugares, ¿es cierto? O sea, sí tenía una relación complicada con esta persona.
Sí fue verdad que la sacó de un antro, pero Vale pues estaba muy, muy enojada en esos momentos y hizo las publicaciones pues enojada. O sea, sí, pues lógico también lo pueden sacar mucho de
De
contexto.
contexto.
Ujú.
Oye,
O sea,
Vivian,
también hay varias imágenes que sacaron de la historia, pero que
sí.
están editadas también.
Vivian said she didn't know the passwords to Valeria's phones, her social media.
¿Quién y de dónde sacaron los en vivos de Valeria para poderlos distribuir en redes sociales? ¿Tú quién crees que fue?
Esa es una cuestión que todavía no tengo ciertas, no sé de dónde sacaron los en vivos. No, nadie tenía la contraseña de su TikTok, ni siquiera yo tenía la contraseña de sus redes sociales. O sea, no sé de dónde la pudieron haber sacado ni descargar videos que tenían ya pues tiempo.
Yet, we've seen many videos where she takes over Valeria's phone and randomly starts doing live streams.
Es mi teléfono.
Soy hermosa. Yo hice un live de tu teléfono.
Vivian broke down during the interview, insisting that if she'd been at the beauty lounge, Valeria might still be alive. She claimed that had Valeria said she wanted to leave, she would have taken her out immediately. But that doesn't match what the viewer saw. Valeria voiced her desire to leave multiple times during the live stream, yet stayed, waiting for the gifts Vivian had promised.
Yo creo que ya no llegaron. Ya me voy, chiquillas.
Vivian also told Valeria that she wanted to see her face when Valeria stated she wanted to leave.
Pero ya me voy. Ya me voy. A que me espere, dice la Vivian, que porque quiere ver mi cara. ¡Rápido, pendeja, que me tengo que ir!
Yet, when the last delivery man arrived, she said she was on her phone and wasn't paying attention and didn't understand that Valeria had been hit. Viewers pointed out the lack of visible emotion on both Erika and Vivian. Vivian said she shed no tears because she was in shock and couldn't accept or process the fact that Valeria was gone. Erika's lawyer made a statement. She said Erika had turned off the live because she didn't want people to see Valeria like that. The lawyer also wanted the public to know that Erika didn't show emotion because she was in shock. Viewers pointed fingers saying that Erika has Valeria's phone, but that hasn't been confirmed. Vivian established distance from herself and Erika during Mafian's interview. Vivian said they were never friends and maybe only spoke to each other when Erika did Vivian's nails. She said she texted Erika once after Valeria's death, sympathizing with her, as both herself and Erika are suspects in some viewers' eyes, a text that Erika never responded to. But does the lack of emotion from these two equal guilt? When I was a little girl, I was told my piano teacher was murdered by her ex. I was inconsolable. Decades later, I still tear up when I think of her. My reaction is far different from Erika and Vivian's. But can we expect the same reaction from everyone? Perhaps everyone reacts differently, and it just so happened that both Vivian and Erika reacted the same way, with neither shedding a tear. The interview with Mafian helped Vivian gain a storm of believers in her innocence with Valeria's death, and she is now posting online again. The Mexican police say they've interviewed over 30 people. Both Erika and Vivian have cooperated, but as of now, no arrests have been made. In life, Valeria inspired thousands. In death, she haunts us still, with questions unanswered, justice unserved, and a presence that refuses to be forgotten.